the bill that we're going to pay.
That consumers do not have to worry about the things that, the system managers make us worry about all the time. All we care is power.
Also, after a long winding road, MP-elect for Asin North will be sworn into Parliament to retake his seat.
They are chasing after him and trying to prosecute him, even though we know that even in that respect that they are talking about, there are many more of us who have the same thing, but they are not being prosecuted.
We'll hear from the Speaker of Parliament, who says he's sad that the MP-elect is still facing prosecution, plus consumers of LPG and other fuel products can now heave a sigh of relief as the Tanker Drivers Association call off strike today. My name is George Kwaning. Now let's settle for the details of the stories. And there's imminent shutdown of power this weekend if government fails to pay 30% of a $2 billion debt it owes the independent power producers, IPPs. The producers have directed their members to cut supplies to the national grid by tomorrow, July 1, over government indebtedness. In an email to 8 members, the Chamber of Independent Power Producers urged them to cut supplies by tomorrow, Saturday, adding it is determined to get results at all costs. The action could plunge the country back into darkness as government depends on all 9 of these providers. Edward Bauer is a member of the Energy Committee of Parliament.
These people gave the notice long ago. Then you had a finance minister. As at 2-3 days ago, he was somewhere in the Netherlands, roaming. He couldn't be bothered about these people. So I don't know whether he himself is not directly around now to start the negotiations. I don't know what the situation is. But for the Chamber of Independent Power Producers to send that email means that it appears their conversation is not going on well. But if it was going on well, they would have been hesitant in sending that email. Well. But I believe that the conversation is not going on that well. So what they are trying to do is that, look, let's issue it and let our members on the 1st of July cut off all power. And my brother, the cost of not having power is more expensive than the bill that we're going to pay.
Edward Bauer is a member of the Energy Committee of Parliament. Now, Executive Director of the African Center for Energy Policy, Ben Boakye, says the situation demands an urgent, reasonable conversation between government and the IPPs to prevent consumers from suffering.
What there has to be is a conversation that arrives at a plan to systematically defray the outstanding balance whilst finding a workable solution to the recurrent accumulation of the debt. For the IPPs, I don't know what the strategy looks like if government is not paying, whether they would want to shut the plant for a long haul and to what end. I think, we have to have a reasonable conversation between government and the IPPs for that to happen. And if they don't even shut the plants, how would government receive it? Would it be an empty threat that could worsen the power sector situation and predictability going forward? I mean, there is some room for sensible conversation to be had around these things so that the consumer who needs the power for business, for homes will be able to be at peace and not have to think. And that's been my concern all the time, that consumers do not have to worry about the things that, the system managers make us worry about all the time. All we care is power on the grid, and we pay for the power that is provided to us.
Ben Boakye is Executive Director of the African Center for Energy Policy. And we know that government has been having a series of meetings with the IPPs, and we'll update you on the outcome. It has been a long road for the newly elected Member of Parliament for Asin North, George Kwaning, but this morning will be sworn in as the MP for the area. According to the National Communication Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, the law requires the Electoral Commission to communicate the results of the by-election to Parliament for the next action to be taken. Some NDC MPs have questioned the delay of the Electoral Commission, and George Kwaning, who was declared invalidly elected in 2020 by Supreme Court judgment, will return to take his seat in Parliament. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbagmin, speaking during a courtesy call on the management of Media General, says it is sad to know that the MP-elect is still being pursued to be prosecuted.
I have to go and swear him in to start his work, in spite of the fact that the same thing I complain about is still happening. They are chasing after him and trying to prosecute him, even though we know that even in that respect that they are talking about, there are many more of us who have the same thing, but they are not being prosecuted. That is the country we are in, and we need to bring this out. Once you have selective justice, you never have peace.
Alban Bagbin is the Speaker of Parliament. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the first bulletin of the day here on 3FM 92.7 with me, George Kwaning. More news this morning. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has detailed how Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta can raise revenue with that draconian revenue measures such as the e-levy. The Speaker revealed that he interacted with the minister when the controversial e-levy was introduced last year and outlined the other measures that the government could have relied upon for domestic revenue generation without necessarily introducing taxes like the e-levy. In a meeting with the management of Minia General Accra on Thursday, June 29, the Speaker said the whole nation I represent their views, so I listen to all the angles and I also read and study.
You have an informal economy. A large percentage of the people are outside the tax net. There are things that you have to do to bring them into the formal sector. And I suggested to him about the lottery tax. The lottery tax is very simple. That you use tax receipts, numbers, to play lotto. And every week, one tax receipt number will win. And you can give a pickup to the person. So everybody now comes in because the person wants to win a pickup. There's a lot of money in the gaming sector. We are not taxing them. We are not taxing them. Many countries are taxing that they get a lot of revenue.
He has been speaking about enhancing media freedom in the country.
Leadership will have to sit up because we were moving up there. All of a sudden, there's retrogression. And you recall around 2015, we scored as much as 22nd position. Now we are at the 62nd position. In fact, our worst was 66th, but now we are at the 62nd after losing from 60. And it's not the best. Parliament, as an institution, as an arm of government, is the protector of the rights and freedoms of all the people. And so we need to stand up. And you need to know that when these things are happening, you have to fall on us. Either through your members of parliament or through the institution itself, and then we take it up.
And that was Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin. He paid a courtesy call to leadership of Minia General yesterday. And now consumers of LPG and other fuel products can heave a sigh of relief as the Tanker Drivers Association has called off its strike today. The latest action follows a meeting with the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Atta, as well as the Transport Minister, Kweku Asiamah, on Thursday. The tanker drivers on Monday began a nationwide strike to protest the poor state of roads leading to the various fuel depots in the country, namely Tema, Takrade, Kumasi and Buipe. At a meeting with the tanker drivers, the roads minister said works to fix the roads have been ongoing and urged them to call off the strike. Sunday Alabi, vice chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, spoke to 3FM.
After meeting with the two ministers, Road and Highways and Transport, and in the further consultation with our members, the union has decided to suspend strike by midnight today, 29 June 2023, based on the following conditions. One, though works are currently ongoing on Tor Road and the contractor will increase his equipment holding on the road and ensure that riding quality is improved within 3 weeks. 2, the access road to the depots in Kumasi, Takrade, and Buipe are improved. Works on this access road will be commenced by 30th June 2023. Number 3.
And Deputy Secretary of the LPG Association of Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumihara, says the relief expected after the strike was called off will take a while to manifest.
This is a big relief because we're really running against time. What this means is that loading will start in earnest tomorrow, but these products which are going to be loaded tomorrow, some of them may not get to their destination tomorrow. They're likely to get to their destination by Saturday. Normally it takes between 12 to 36 hours for the drivers to load the product and get to their destination. What we are hoping is that whatever stocks we have in the system should be able to hold us together till Saturday.
And Gabriel Kumi is the Deputy Secretary of the LPG Marketers Association. Before we part company, the campaign to remove taxes on sanitary materials have been taken a notch higher as a private legal practitioner sues government and two others over the 20% tax on sanitary materials. The Speaker of Parliament and the Ghana Revenue Authority have also been mentioned in the suit that is seeking an interpretation that taxation on part, tampons and other menstrual products is illegal. The plaintiff, James Apado, says customers deserve a refund.
Are denying women their right to health, because the reality is that for the large majority of the population who don't have access to these products because of the cost, are forced to use toilet rolls, dirty rags, all manner of things that causes infection and exposes them to dangers of health. And that, again, is not helpful when it comes to legality of those taxes. So that is the key relief we are seeking. But apart from that, these taxes have been collected by the Ghana Revenue Authority for several years. And we believe that if the court agrees with us that the taxes are not legal, then the monies that have been collected from importers of these products have a right to a refund.
James Apado is a plaintiff in this very suit, and that's how we end the morning news. Before we go look again at our top stories, pressure mounting government to cough up to $400 million for independent power producers or risk plant shutdowns from tomorrow. After a long winding road, MP-led for Asin North will be sworn into Parliament to retake his seat, and consumers of LPG and other fuel products can now heave a sigh of relief as the Tanker Drivers Association call off strike today. My name is George Kwaning. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website, is 3news.com. Thanks for listening. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Alfred and Helen will continue with the morning show. Good morning.